Hello, you are welcome to SS306 Basic Medical and Surgical Nursing Study Section 3 Framework of Nursing Practice Part 1. In the last study section, you were introduced to nursing process. In this study section, you will be listening to another interesting topic, the framework of nursing practice Part 1. Sit back and enjoy the video. When you will have studied this section, you should be able to explain Orem's theory of care, discuss King's theory of goal attainment, you should be able to explain Johnson's behavioral system model, and lastly, you should be able to discuss Roy's adaptation model. Let's start with Orem's theory of care. Orem 1950 focuses on nursing as a deliberate human action and knows that all individuals can benefit from nursing when they have health-derived or health-related limitation for engaging in self-care or care of dependent others. The role of the nurse is to assist clients with self-care when there is a deficit in their ability to perform. 1. The individual. The individual is viewed by Orems as a unity whose functioning is linked with the environment and who, with the environment, forms an integrated functional whole. Human beings are capable of self-determined actions and function biologically, symbolically, and socially. The two part is the environment. The environment is linked to the individual, forming an integrated and interactive system. It implies that the environment is the external to the individual. 3. Health and illness. Health, which has physical, psychological, interpersonal and social aspects, is a state in which human beings are structurally and functionally whole. Illness occurs when an individual is incapable of maintaining self-care as a result of health-related limitations. Nursing. Nursing involves assisting the individual with his or her self-care practices to sustain life and health recovered from disease or injury and cope with their effects. The goal of nursing is to move a patient towards responsible self-care or meeting existing healthcare needs of those who have healthcare deficits for purposes of maintaining, protecting, or promoting their functioning as human being. King's theory of goal attainment. The theory of goal attainment is advanced by Imogen King in her publication Towards a Theory for Nursing in 1981. The theory identified the focus of nursing as being on interacting with their environment, leading to a state of health, which is the ability to function in roles. Let's see, in individual, the individual is viewed as open systems that interact with their environment and are conceptualized as social, sentient, rational, perceiving, controlling, purposeful, and action-oriented being. Environment. As an open system, it is implied that the individual and the environment interact and that both the internal and external environment generates stressor. Health and illness. Health is described as an individual's ability to function in social roles, which implies optimal use of one's resources to achieve continuous adjustment to internal and external environmental stressor. Illness is a deviation from the norm, an imbalance in a person's biological structure, psychological makeup, or social relationship. Nursing. In a process of action, reaction, and interaction, the nurse and client communicate, set goals, and explore means to achieve those goals. The domain of nursing includes promoting, maintaining, and restoring health, caring for the sick and injured, and caring for the dying. The goal of nursing is to assist an individual to maintain their health so they can function in their role. Johnson's behavioral system model. Johnson views the individual as a behavioral system that is continually striving for balance. The nurse serves as an external regulatory force to preserve and maintain this system balance. He identified the 4 stages as well. The individual as a behavioral subsystem. The individual strives to attain and maintain behavioral system balance. This often will require adaptation and modification. The environment. The internal and external natural forces constitute the environment in which the behavioral system exists. Health. Health within the theory occurs when there is an equilibrium to the extent that the behavioral system is self-maintaining and self-perpetuating, an interrelationship between the subsystem and harmonious. Illness is a state of disorganization and dysfunction of the system. Nursing. In this context of a Johnson behavioral system model, nursing is described as an external regulatory force, imposes external controls to fulfill the functional requirements of the subsystems. According to Johnson, the goal of nursing is to restore, maintain, or attain behavioral system balance and stability at the highest possible level for the individual. Roy's adaptation model. Sister Callista Roy described the individual as a biopsychosocial adaptive system and nursing as a humanistic discipline that places emphasis on the person's own coping abilities. The individual and the environment are those sources of stimuli that require modification to promote adaptation. Thus, the role of the nurse promotes adaptation by modifying external stimuli. Equally identify the 4 stages: individual, environment, health and illness, and nursing. The individual is in constant interaction with a changing environment and must respond positively to environmental change for proper adaptation. However, the person's adaptation level is determined by the combined effect of 3 classes of stimuli: focal, contextual, and residual. The individual uses both innate and acquired biological, psychological, or social adaptive mechanism and as 4 modes of adaptation. Environment. This comprises of situation and circumstances surrounding or influencing the development and behavior of persons and groups. The environment is constantly changing and consists of both internal and external components. Health. In this model, health is described as a process of being and becoming an integrated and whole person. Conversely, illness is a lack of integration. Nursing. As an external regulatory force, or the goal of nursing is to promote the person's adaptation in the 4 adaptive modes, thus contributing to health, the quality of life, and the dying with dignity. Thank you for listening. See you in the next class.